With Battlefield 6's Season 2 around the corner, I wanted to take some time to discuss what my expectations are and what I think Battlefield can do to bring back all of the missing players. So far, we don't have any sort of confirmed date on when Season 2 will begin, but it should be within the next week or two. If not Tuesday the 13th, then more than likely the 20th. That'll give a week break in between the end of Season 1 and the beginning of Season 2. So far, all that we have officially is this leak from Temporeal talking about a few weapons coming in Season 2, the Little Bird, jet skis in Season 3, which is probably where all the naval warfare maps are going to come in if there are a bunch, and a few gadgets here and there. But my concern isn't really with weapons. I think that the weapon count and the weapons are currently enough. Given how long the progression actually is, I don't think most people have had these things unlocked, and there's still some work to do in terms of the release weapons. So since we're starting there, the first thing that I would actually like to see is a little bit of reduction in the weapon progression. I do understand that it is longer than all of the other Battlefields basically ever. I'm enjoying myself. I don't find the grind to about level 30 to get everything unlocked too long, but I do understand that it is substantially longer than in other game modes, and if you're playing BR where you're getting significantly less kills, it's basically impossible to level up your weapon. So I do think that that does need to be reduced in terms of how easy or quickly you can unlock things. That can be through increased weapon XP per round or from the reduction in XP needed to level up the weapons. Once you have all of the attachments that grind continually after for the Unstoppable Force version of the gun, that can be as long as they want it to be, because at the end of the day you've already unlocked everything. So getting to level 50 is not really that big of a deal, but getting all of the attachments unlocked is. Along with the weapons, I definitely would like to see some sort of major patch come in, which usually at the beginning of the season we do get a major patch, and one thing that I would like to see fixed is in-world spotting. It's awesome to get in-world spotting and see somebody that you weren't supposed to see, but in reality it does make most of the attachments useless. Right now, most people are running suppressors or flash hiders because everything else has too much of a cost. I did a video about how the suppressors work if you want to check it out right here, but essentially it reduces how many kills you can get just because you're on the map. Having a suppressor is basically the equivalent to Ghost. You can't be seen in map and you cannot be seen in the real world when you fire. That is a very big advantage that only the flash hider and the suppressors offer. So no one's using the other attachments. If they remove in-world spotting and they just leave it to minimap spotting like most other games, and then leave the in-world spotting to the recon class or to the actual spot function as they had in other games, that is perfectly fine. I don't know why that changed. In-world spotting should be left to visible, manual, click E or R1 in terms of actually spotting a player, and then everything else should be focused on the minimap. That would make the compressors, the muzzle brakes, and everything else significantly more useful. And the only time that you're gonna use a flash hider or a suppressor is when you would like to stay off of the minimap. This would just give a very big balance to the muzzle attachments. Now, the next big thing for me is maps, but not in the way that most people would think. Most people are looking for just larger maps, and I don't particularly think that is the case. I'll be talking about this on an upcoming video with a little bit more detail, but these maps, although they are small, they are very, very good maps. You can interact with almost any surface. The level of detail on these maps is absolutely incredible. Everything adds to the life, everything moves. If you throw a grenade in a room, basically everything's gonna move around a little bit and interact with that grenade. The level of details, the level of interaction is basically unmatched in most other Battlefield games. So I do think that these maps, although small in size, are still very well designed maps. There is multiple ways to get to any one singular point. Some people may find that annoying that you can't just sit in one channel and shoot everybody down, but in reality there's usually 3 to 4 points to enter any sort of objective. Yes, it is close quarters. I do fully understand that. It's not as open world, but there are multiple and several ways to get to one location, which is actually very good. Considering the positives that these maps have to offer, I would definitely like that level of detail to still be in those maps, because we can, just like any other Battlefield map, walk around them and look and see and interact with most everything, I would like to see broken BR maps. I know that they already have maps in the pipeline, but going in, playing Red Sec, playing Gauntlet, these sections of maps are beautiful. They're colorful, they're open, you can interact with everything. I actually think the destruction on the BR map is actually a little bit better than in launch versions of the maps. So basically something like an Eastwood. I mean, that map changed a little bit from the BR map. The mall section of the Red Sec map is absolutely awesome. And even some of the sections that we play in Gauntlet with a little bit more of the expanded area, those are amazing. They look awesome. They have the same level of detail as all the multiplayer release maps. If they can make some of those and bring those into the multiplayer experience, I really do think that that would be enough to keep players happy for the near future. And we also have to remember, they've already released 2 maps. This is more content than we've gotten in basically any other Battlefield before this early. So another 2 or 3 maps would be awesome. Obviously, the community kind of expects a little bit more, just given the live service models and what the competition is doing right now. So if it's more than just 1 or 2 of the BR maps broken down, I want to see some change in terms of weather, nighttime. Battlefield has had the most beautiful ice maps. Even in 2042, where it was a little bit more lifeless, this map right here is awesome to look at. The level of detail and the ice and the glaciers. Battlefield has always done some amazing ice maps, and seeing one of these in Season 2 would be absolutely awesome. It matches with all of the cosmetics for the latter part of Season 1, all of the winter stuff. That way all of these camos don't go to waste on a half-baked map, and it brings a little bit more theme to what we have going forward. It would make sense to release at least 1 or 2 fully iced out maps. And we're not talking an ice over like Empire State, a full snow map, something in the Alps, something that is completely covered in white and is not a variation, it is just dense snow. That would be amazing, and it would fit very, very nicely with what we have going on. The other thing that I would like to see is water, and I do believe that this is coming in Season 3, so my expectation is not to have this in this section, but there is water. Obviously, the BR map has a large section of water, has a large section of beach, so all the assets are there. You see the boats. We know that the jet ski's coming in Season 3, so I fully expect that to be later on down the line, but if that happens to release in Season 2, I really do think that would be over delivering, because no one expects that in Season 2, and I do think that that would have a large impact on the opinion of the player base. I don't think it'll happen, but if it does, I really do believe that it would bring good positive vibes and good thoughts to the community. So yeah, those are my thoughts on what I want to see on Season 2. Nothing too crazy, so definitely remove in-world spotting just to give the other attachments a chance to succeed. A little bit of a speed up in weapon progression, and definitely some changes to the map, but it has to remain with the same level of detail. Even if it is a recycled map from previous Battlefields, I'm happy with that. A breakdown of a section of the BR map that is still large, similar to Eastwood, if not larger, also covers it. Anything with water is more of an over delivery than anything. It's not an expectation, but it is a desire. And then anything that's a night map, dark maps. I got done playing some Battlefield 1 yesterday, and that video is coming out soon, but the night maps in that game are awesome. And seeing that in this game with this level of detail, I think would be very interesting. So there you have it, guys. Let me know your thoughts. I'm obviously on the positive side of this. I'm thoroughly enjoying this game. I definitely see the brighter side of things, but I'm curious to see what you guys would like to see coming out of Season 2. If you like this video, go ahead, give it a like. If you want to see more, get that subscribe button. And also, if you want to check out any sort of Battlefield 6 challenge style videos, just having some fun and enjoying the game, you know, battlefielding and Battlefield, check out these videos right here.